Crew vanished. Yet the ship kept sailing. Captain Morehouse soon recognized the drifting brig as the command of his old friend, Captain Benjamin Briggs. The boarding party discovered a ship that appeared remarkably seaworthy, yet utterly devoid of any living souls aboard the deck. Despite the absence of crew, the cargo remained perfectly intact, suggesting no violent struggle or hasty abandonment occurred on board. A single, frayed rope trailed across the stern, serving as the only tangible clue left behind by those who vanished into the endless ocean. Beneath the decks, personal effects, valuable items, and 6 months of essential provisions remained completely untouched by any hands. The immaculate state of the ship suggested that whatever transpired was not a sudden catastrophe, but perhaps a calculated and unsettling departure. The lack of any signs of struggle, fire, or violent mayhem suggested a departure that was either voluntary or orchestrated with chilling precision. Investigators struggled to reconcile the physical evidence with the impossible absence of any living crew members or signs of a desperate fight. The navigational instruments and ship's logbook were completely missing, leaving behind only the unsettling void where vital records should have been found. The absence of these critical documents raises profound questions about the fate of the crew and the circumstances surrounding their disappearance. The maritime world held its breath, grappling with a mystery that defied all known explanations of human behavior at sea. The vessel, once known as the Amazon, gained a reputation for volatile cargo and perilous voyages. This ship was subsequently renamed the Mary Celeste, carrying a legacy of untold risks and maritime notoriety. Captain Benjamin Briggs was a man defined by deep faith, immense experience, and a profound reluctance to leave his family. The ship was laden with a substantial quantity of 1,700 barrels of highly volatile industrial alcohol. These barrels were destined for Genoa, carrying immense financial value and a significant risk of catastrophic explosion. The manifest detailed the passengers: Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, their young daughter Sophia, and a hand-picked crew of 7 souls. The crew consisted of 7 experienced sailors who shared the perilous journey and the heavy responsibility of command. Navigational logs recorded the final known position as November 25th, situated near the remote Azores archipelago. The weather logs indicated that the voyage itself was seemingly routine, showing no immediate signs of severe maritime distress. Despite the calm logs, the silence that followed their disappearance suggested a profound and unsettling deviation from the expected path. The routine entry masks the deeper, unspoken tension of a journey where fate may have silently intervened far from shore. This is just the beginning. Subscribe to see more amazing content. Fire. The meticulous recording of the weather provides a stark contrast to the inexplicable void left by the crew's sudden and total vanishing. This seemingly mundane record becomes the only remaining artifact of a voyage that ended in an absolute, unexplained disappearance into the deep. The salvage hearing in Gibraltar brought forth intense scrutiny over the fate of the Mary Celeste. Attorney General Frederick Solly Flood harbored strong suspicions regarding foul play aboard the derelict vessel. Solly Flood meticulously presented evidence suggesting that the circumstances surrounding the ship's abandonment pointed toward deliberate deception by the crew. He implied something far more sinister than simple misfortune. Forensic examination of the ship revealed deeply disturbing details regarding the navigational equipment. The compass binnacle was found severely smashed, suggesting a violent struggle or deliberate destruction. Furthermore, the hatch covers were found completely off their moorings on the deck. This indicates an abrupt and unplanned event that exposed the interior to the elements. A sounding rod was discovered lying on the deck, suggesting an attempt to measure the depth or check for immediate danger before the final disaster struck. This detail spoke volumes about the crew's last moments. The sheer absence of any visible signs of violence or a chaotic struggle deeply unsettled the investigators. There were no bloodstains, no broken furniture, and no signs of a frantic fight taking place. Investigators noted that the logbooks and all navigational instruments had vanished without a trace. This complete disappearance suggested an intentional act rather than accidental loss. The investigation then turned its attention to the cargo itself. specifically the volatile industrial alcohol. 9 empty barrels were found, revealing a critical difference in the wood used for their construction. The barrels were constructed from porous red oak, which contrasts sharply with the tightly bound white oak used for other stores. This difference immediately raised concerns about potential vapor risk and uncontrolled reactions. The presence of such different wood types suggested a heightened danger from an accidental vapor explosion. The volatile nature of the contents meant that any spark could have initiated a catastrophic event. Despite the volatile cargo, investigators found absolutely no physical evidence of fire or any signs of a violent struggle on the deck. This lack of damage contradicted theories of a desperate, chaotic event. The court ultimately awarded the salvage rights to the survivors, but this legal victory offered no tangible proof of piracy or a mutiny by the crew. The evidence remained frustratingly inconclusive. The court failed to establish definitive proof of either piracy, a crew mutiny, or an insurance fraud scheme. The legal system could not reconcile the physical evidence with the claimed narrative of disaster. The absence of any physical evidence meant the true cause of the ship's fate remained shrouded in mystery. The maritime legacy of the Mary Celeste remains an unsolved enigma for historians and investigators alike. The initial theories centered on simple human conflict, suggesting a drunken crew mutiny or a violent pirate attack took place. Another popular theory suggested a calculated insurance scam, where the crew deliberately abandoned the vessel to claim a large payout. Some believed the inexplicable disappearance was caused by a sudden waterspout, a terrifying meteorological event sweeping across the Atlantic. Sensationalism quickly fueled the narrative, drawing comparisons to fictional tales like Arthur Conan Doyle's haunting story of a sea monster lurking beneath the waves. The sensational narratives surrounding the mystery often morphed into wild speculation about extraterrestrial involvement. Invoking the myth of UFO sightings, the most compelling scientific reevaluation focused on the volatile nature of the cargo, specifically the industrial alcohol stored on board the vessel. This theory posits that an uncontrolled vapor explosion could have violently blown open the ship's hatches, scattering the crew into the freezing water. The hypothesis then shifts to the idea of panic, suggesting Captain Briggs might have ordered a desperate launch fearing an imminent and catastrophic vessel breach. In this scenario, the crew might have intentionally severed tow lines or jettisoned supplies to lighten the load during a perceived existential crisis. Modern simulations explore how a rapid, clean-burning vapor flash could induce such profound terror that a captain would make a fatal decision. This modern understanding bridges the gap between historical mystery and contemporary physics, examining the psychological toll of sudden environmental catastrophe. The theories demonstrate how human fear, when confronted with the unknown, can override rational judgment in desperate maritime situations. These various theories, from mutiny to atmospheric panic, illustrate the multifaceted nature of the Mary Celeste ghost story and its enduring appeal. The historical event has birthed the enduring archetype of the ghost ship, a perfect narrative blend of maritime tragedy and unanswered existential questions. The mystery ship continued its silent journey for 12 more years until it was finally lost off the coast of Haiti. This single unexplained disappearance became the perfect crucible for the ghost ship archetype in human mythology. The sheer volume of media attention amplified the original maritime enigma into a timeless symbol of haunting absence. Maritime history responded by implementing crucial changes, focusing on improved cargo venting and safer lifeboat protocols. These evolutions were driven by the tragic need to prevent similar, catastrophic losses at sea for future generations. Captain Briggs established a profound standard of seamanship, often referred to as the Briggs Standard for responsible navigation and command. The human cost of this silence is deeply felt by families left adrift, searching endlessly for any form of closure or explanation. A poignant detail surfaces when a small toddler's toy was discovered resting quietly on a cabin bunk, hinting at an interrupted, fragile life. The Atlantic Ocean remains a vast and unknowable entity, holding its profound secrets far beyond any recorded log entry. The historical record exists in the fragile space between the official log entry and the eventual, haunting discovery by a determined salvage crew. This profound lack of closure ensures that the merry Celeste continues to sail in the collective imagination, forever haunting the vast expanse of the ocean. Welcome! Before we begin, hit subscribe so you don't miss our daily updates. Bell next episode. A plot twist you won't expect. Subscribe now. Face screaming in fear.